You record. I tell
Okay.
you, just summarize and record.
Yes.
Free. What's the name of the thing? Pray. What's the name?
Pray and preach.
Pray and preach. Let's make sure I get it all. Did you ask the question? Just summarize.
Okay, so um, I asked a question that we know that Srila Prabhupada gave us a basic instruction that chanting of 16 rounds following 4 regulative principles, we can go back home, back to Godhead easily. But there are people in the ISKCON society who who doesn't have any clue about what other instruction Srila Prabhupada also gave for people who, like, there are so many devotees in ISKCON who are going for corporate sectors, they are working 9 to 5, and some maybe are not able to find a job, and some people doesn't have any clue that what has to be done, and due to the lack of reading of Srila Prabhupada books, they don't know that what Srila Prabhupada has to say about it. So this is my question, that being from a, like a, I have a family background of Indian Army, and we all had a disciplined life since childhood. My father is Ayurvedic doctor also. So growing up in that um, disciplined background, I was brought up like this. So I always had a genuine connection to plants and farm and to how to grow food near me so that I can have the best food for myself and for my family. So now I'm Krishna conscious, so I want to provide this for everyone. And it's an amazing way to preach also, because if we have a farm, for example, and then if we provide employment for people, then they can come there, they can like be around us, be around devotees, and they can be spiritual in the long run. So this is my question, that how can we teach about this farm philosophy, farm society that Srila Prabhupada told?
Okay. And continuing the answer I was about to give, this is a great question and has many parts in this questions, in this question. Okay. Now it's interesting that we started this a week ago, right? The pray and
Yes.
preach already is thinking about getting into a farm. it took the movement, a few years before we even start thinking about that, right when Prabhupada came. And then at one point, Prabhupada was talking about the farms, and the devotees didn't have a clue, but they did it anyway. And then they started a new Vrindavan project. And Prabhupada had, his vision and everything. The thing of the farm projects in ISKCON is that it's the farm, it's like living close to the nature, okay? And that is what Prabhupada wants. Of course, you're growing your food and you're living a simple living and high thinking type of society. See, now my personal consideration is that living simple is very complicated, because we are part of the, what you call, the Ugra Karma manifestation that is now global in the whole world. Still, some people, they do things like that. Like, for example, my sister, she just had a birthday, it was 15th of January, and she decided this time, because she said, "Oh, look, you give a party and people come, and see, I'm a devotee, and they want to drink this and that. I don't want all these things." So she alone went to this place in the Bahamas. She's in Florida, in Bahamas, 1 hour flight, and there is this, how do you call this, Shivananda ashram, which they offer a kind of a resort. It's very cheap actually. She stays there for like $600 for like maybe like 6 days or something, and food, everything 3 times a day, like that, all good. And you have yoga class and meditation and some shanty area. So it's a lot of people going there, even some celebrities and all that good stuff. You see, so they have a little bit of a simple living arrangement, but it still is part of the Ugra Karma, manifestation. To live just actually off the land, you have to be prepared to undergo many austerities and sacrifice. And unfortunately, we're not, we're not ready yet, but we can. You see, we can work towards that goal. So, for example, right now we have in here, me and my wife, we have some land in here. I have 4 bigas. We welcome to come here and you start pray and preach, whatever farm community or Ayurvedic center or, whatever, planting the herbs, that has to be locally planted, farmed, and properly transformed into medicinal and all that good stuff. You see, welcome and I'll support as much as I can. And now it's a clean land next to Ganga. And that is how it started. The economy start with land, Krishna, and cows. And I can tell a little bit because we used to have 10 cows.
Wow.
And we had a beautiful system and everything. But the premise is that we have to go out of India and go to do some donors. We used to go to Korea, Malaysia, and we have to activate our donors to be able to support. We have like a school project, we have the cows, we have so many things going on in here at that time. You see, so now we kind of retire, we kind of stop that, but the land is still there. You see, so I could see how economy based on cow is amazing because see the cow, she eats the bichali. So I was thinking, well, we have cow now, and I always start with 1 cow. He went to 10 cows, and I always start with the bichali. So I said, well, why should I buy bichali? Bichali is the grass, the dry grass that the cow eats. So I said, I'm gonna plant rice and then I collect the rice and the bichali, I give it free to the cows. I don't have to buy them. And the rice I can sell and get my money back. Not like that, I was thinking. So then I decided, well, since the cow likes to eat, not just the bichali, I'm gonna get an oil machine so I can get, sesame oil. And the thing left over, I give it to the cow. You see, so the cow kind of stimulate the economy. And this way we kind of growing and this whole thing. So the cow is the engine of economic development. I remember the devotee told me that Prabhupada was in Hyderabad, you see, and Hyderabad is a farm, and we had like 500 acres in there. This is before it becomes reduced to 50 acres. So anyway, he was going in front of the Goshala, where the cows stay, and he stopped in front of a gobur, a round, beautiful gobur that a cow just dropped in there, fresh. You see, he stopped in front of the gobur. He pointed his cane and he said, "This is gold." You see, when I heard that, I never forgot. You see, that is a lot of, and the cows is an amazing thing, I mean,
Yes.
I can personally share with you that I have times that, I drink the cow, watery manifestation, and it's a fantastic cleaning process. And then I come to know that if you give some herbs to the cow and you take the urine and you drink it, it's like it's a factory, it's a chemical factory in there that it produce some kind of a medicinal byproduct. So I was amazed to that, you see, and so many other stories about cows and everything. 10 cows, I never forgot. So anyway, there was, and at that time we feel very fulfilled, but it was a very hard work to have the whole thing running, you see. And one of the problems is we're not situated in a land like a farm, and cultivating and making the economic development from that part. You have to go out of India and get donors, get money in, and do our whole program. But farming is the process, you see, because I think one time I remember I was having some problem, with my friends in Mississippi, and it was some kind of economy here, there, things about money, and then this devotee, he told me something very interesting. He said, Bhagi, at the end, you all have to come back to Krishna, the land, and the cows.
Mm-hmm.
That is where everything starts. The land is the start of, actually Prabhupada said, if you want to do a business proposal, you need land, management, right? Labor and capital, right? He said that. So you need land to start anything. So again, I have 4 bigas in here, it's maybe 3 if Ganga didn't took a chunk yet. So it's very, let's do something there. No problem. I put in the hand of all of you. Make a board, make decision. No, let's do it. But you see, it's not very easy.
Yes.
That's why in the Vedic system, the king, he supports, people by granting lands, right? There is a place here near Mayapur called Dubulia. And I come to know that it's a lot of artistic people in there, in different things, artisanal, musicians. Because at one point, the king brought in a whole bunch of very talented people to settle in the area, which the children still carrying on that work that the forefathers used to do. You see, so it has farming is a beautiful thing also. And if you had just at this point, you have this idea, it's very inspiring because this is exactly what Prabhupada want. But it is the young generation that has to take the mantle to carry this on. You see? Because, for example, I can give you a few economics. Like I have a friend, he has a farm in South India, and it's a valley. You see, so the people, they have lands, a lot of people, and they are the laborers of it's a ISKCON farm. So they come, they work, they do the planting, the work, whatever. So what happened is that the laborers, the children of these laborers, they have the agricultural patch of land. They went and they got education, and they went to the cities to get jobs. The accountant, engineer, lawyers, or whatever. The children. So who is there to continues getting the land worked? There was nobody. So they selling the land and they move on, something like that. So what happened is there was not enough laborers in the valley, so they has to import from the next valley, and the labor went up to do the work, and that affect a little bit what they're doing there. So there's many things to consider, but I see that it is going to get to a point that we will be squeezed into accepting the farm life, even if we don't want.
Yes.
Because that is the Ugra karma manifestation in this world. In India, it's kind of, it's a paradise, unbelievable. Because you can be relaxed in India. You can live in the street, under the tree, nobody really, I'm saying, theoretically, right? It's possible. It's very simple living naturally here. But anywhere in the Western world, they don't have all the facilities. I remember when the COVID starts, and I see people are so worried about toilet paper. They freaking out. What is my toilet paper? There's no toilet paper. And they going, they show people, whatever this was, like a propaganda or whatever. They show people going to supermarkets looking for toilet paper, taking bundles of them, for later, so they have enough for a month, you see? And then, with some friends in Twitter, I was saying, what is that all about? I don't use toilet paper for 40 years, and they were, how do you do it? Well, use water, take shower later, blah, blah, blah. It was like a new thing. So we too forced into the commodities of the modern life. We don't need as much. We can be very simple and utilize the extra time to do some amazing preaching, chanting, and then become very resourceful. Utilize what you already have in here and have a very satisfying, peaceful Krishna conscious and prosper life. Because in the beginning, I just read it, that, who was that? Marco Polo, in 1500, 1400. Marco Polo sent a letter He said, in the what's that? In the west of Colombo, which was not Sri Lanka, there was this country, India, which is very prosperous, very rich, and people there are very, very intelligent. He came in contact with India at that time before the British. You see, so India was very prosperous, and the life was in the villages, was in the local management. You see, they have a whole structure. Unfortunately, when the British came, some Western, structure management, he broke down that structure that the Vedic system still have left over. Now, we can go and use both systems. It doesn't matter, you see, and establish, a simple living, high thinking. But now you are the young people. You should carry on that, right? You can do whatever it takes. Now, to do that, you take sacrifice, but a good sacrifice. You see, it's good. It's a good thing. How that sounds?
Yes.
You see, you should try to have, I don't know, maybe a cow. Indians used to have cows in the garage, and I see many people still have around here.
I have a
And you
question.
see, yes.
Just a small question, just to know for myself that is it practical if we discuss these kind of things among people who are like so much into corporate world and they're not having any idea what if this world is also there. So the first thing they're going to ask is that is this practical for people who are not so rich to start a farm? So is it practical like in these days? Like earlier
Well,
used to, it was that land is already available. Now the land is the problem. We have to buy the land first. So yeah, that's my question.
don't come to Mayapur, man. Land here is worth of gold. Yeah, one kata is like 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs. It's amazing. But anyway, well, Prabhupada said, see, Prabhupada is interesting. He has many articles about Srila Prabhupada, and he said, you cannot eat nuts and bolts, first thing. You see, and the factories are there, they're producing electronics, nuts and bolts, and whatever it is that they do. But how they're going to eat? You see, and another thing, the political power in India is, as much as I could see, is basically in the farmers because they are the one who have, lots of votes. You see all these little places all over India, the little villages and everything. Now, how many big cities are in India? India has 1.5 billion people. And they have 10 million Calcutta, 8 million Bombay, Delhi, Madras, Bangalore. How many big cities are there? Everybody else is in villages everywhere. You see, so therefore, of course, the political party, what they do, they try to, to cater to the farmers, and give them facilities, very low electric bills and, financings and all that good stuff. And they're right. We should support the farms. So because otherwise, what are you going to eat? Unfortunately, Mayapur, I can go and buy subsidy, because the guy next door is cultivating. If you live in a big city, how you get a subsidy? It's coming from outside the city. You see, so it's all there's a little bit of a connection in there, and this is a perennial question in the ISKCON society. That a lot of people, because Prabhupada said, half of my work is finished, I want to do the other half, which was Varna Ashrama and the farm communities. But devotees has been talking about this, and there is 7 projects, in different places in the world. There's one here in New Govardhan, I think, in Bombay. But there's a lot of money coming from outside and investments, and people put money in there to get to the point where it is now. Now, to have a self-sustainable, farm community, I have not seen anything so far. Maybe I missed something. But it has to be very, at this point, it has to be very intelligently presented. you see, and manifest it. In Mayapur, we don't have farm per se. We have nice devotees. They come, they have a little garden, and they grow some sabji like that, not in an extensive uh, scale that can actually supply a lot of, food for the community here. We buy from outside, and the milk, everything. So it's a good question. We don't have an answer, but I know the answer will come, because at one point, when this ugra karma keep manifesting, we will be forced to be living off the land. You see, living off the land and maintaining ourselves just what it's in here around me. I feel that way. Maybe not so much in India, but definitely in the Western countries. For example, if you live in Miami, your avocado things, generally the tomato comes from 3,000 miles away from the roadways. In California, they send to Miami, the things, the vegetables flying around the world here and there. You see, how is that possible? You should have food that's produced next to your door, right? That is how you support. If anything, like for example, this COVID, and that was like everything stopped, and the people are scared. Where is the food? The trucks are not going the roads, and there was no fuel and whatever it is, and there was a problem. And people feel like, hey, the food is not coming. What to do? And at one point, I remember India stopped rice export, and Thailand export the rice export because they want to keep the rice in the country like that. So anyway, there's so many things. If you get your food from, thousands of miles away to coming here, and not in India, but basically, many Western countries, true, then, you are in danger. You think it's secure, but you're not. You're living like in a sand castle, and at any moment, the big wave can come and take the castle away. So the protection is to produce what you have near your place. And then if there is more than you can, you produce more than it is, you trade. You trade. You get your wood, you get, whatever, your cloth. Because what are the Lakshmis? There's Asta Lakshmi, right? What is Asta Lakshmi? It's the different wealth that you can have. The paper wealth, we didn't know that, but there was gold and metals, okay? And that is what, there was jewels, right? Herbs and medicine. These are natural wealths. There is 8 Lakshmis that there is the wealth that they manifest in this human society. I just read, and it was 2 days ago, that is about $50 trillion of money around, 50 trillion. And of this 50, 6 is in banknotes, is the paper notes. The rest is just a number in a computer.
Yes.
You see,
yes.
It's a number in the cyber world. Just a number. When you go and you buy a house, let's say you buy a house, $100,000, you give $10,000 down payment. What is the other 90,000? The bank finance, where do they get the money? They don't go to the bank, open the door and get 90,000 and give it to the guy who sell the house. They just put a number there in the computer, minus 90,000. And that's it. Now, this is some payable assets that somebody has to pay back, and that's the interest and all that good stuff. You see? They just create the money out of thin air. So this economy, and Prabhupada saw this. Prabhupada wrote in a book, Easy Journey to the Other Planet. 50 years, the civilization won't be like we think it is today. No, it was about this time now. It's transforming itself. You see? And at one point, this misguided, Prabhupada called misguided civilization. Okay? And maybe we're going into the time. So
we have 8 minutes.
How much? 8, huh? Because I was young, and I always thought, well, there is an idea that, well, Prabhupada want to bring these old, unfashionable things from the past to here, right? This simple living high thing. I was not thinking like that, but it was an impression. Prabhupada want to bring this and reestablish what was before the Vedic times, right? But now I'm getting older and wiser. Prabhupada was a genius. He didn't want to bring the past in here. When Prabhupada said simple living, high thinking, and the farms, Prabhupada was establishing the future. You see, he was looking for the future. He was not looking the past. We're going to do the simple living, high thinking. We do the farming, all these things because you bring the past into the present. No. Prabhupada was thinking, this is where it's going to go. Prepare. You see, he gave sound alarm, prepare farms. Why farms? Because when the cities are not, suitable for the living standards anymore, people, what they're gonna do for food, for work, and what is the work? There's no making phones, making parts for cars and Lamborghinis, all the good stuff and Gucci bags. They're gonna go take a shovel and go work in the land and produce food. That's what it is. You see, just like I used to have my cowboy, and I went to his house many times, and I go to his house, and sometimes he serve us some prasadam, and he told me, I eat 3 kilos of rice a day. He has a big family, and plus a Bengali, and he calculates in a month it's so many kilos, so I have to go and plant this. He doesn't have the Walmart, he doesn't have the big bazaar to go and buy his rice. He produces rice, what he needs. He have extra rice, he sells, and then he buys the oil and the subsidy, cultivates, and that's how he eats. If he had one flood, anything, and disturb that balance, he'll be anxiety. You see, of course, now he has like a Toto, he drives the Toto, he gets some extra money. People surviving here. But that's what at that time I was thinking, he's calculating, this is my subject, this is my right, I have to plant this. In 3 months, I have so many kilos of rice. You see, that's how it works. So you think about that because you are you are the young generation. It's going to follow you see? And it is a beautiful thought because Prabhupada said, with Harisauri, Prabhupada one time called him in the night, how this movement is going to go on. He gave many answers. But Prabhupada said, no, planning and organization. You see? So this is a beautiful desire, but you keep thinking and keep refining a plan. And let's see, we can do something together. You see? Our pray and preach can go beyond just sitting here in Zoom, and we go and zoom past all these things and do some project. Yes. Beautiful. Bring all together our talents. We can do something. We never know. People become, somebody wrote here, okay, maybe that's why people now are becoming vegan. Yes, naturally, they cutting these things out. First of all, meat is such a dirty food, and we don't know what's inside the meat nowadays. And you're gonna come a time, they're already talking about it, gonna eat us, make us eating bugs and gaslight us. This is a wonderful thing. All those maggots and all these good things full of proteins, they will want us to eat. Yes. Maggot burgers. They want us to eat that. Gosh, there's no stopping how these people, can go low in the cycle of life. So we're protected. We're protected by knowledge. Okay, so I think we're near the mark. We're near the mark in there. I think we should, do, if you like this, I want to get the feedback and tell me if you like, 2 times a week, we can do this. And maybe we can get a membership in Zoom, and we can do this without this half an hour cut. We can do like, something more, develop some more what we're doing here. You tell me what you think. I'd like to hear from you because not just me that apparently I'm inspiring you all, but you being there, and I see you all, seeing me and all this, I feel also inspired. This is energy also coming to me. And this is how the cycle of life works. This transmission of knowledge, of experience, of inspiration. Okay, because you're ready. I feel, I look at you, probably like Prabhupada would look at us at that time. He looks very energetic, young devotees that want to serve his movement. And Prabhupada was so thankful. In the same way, I'm thankful for you just to take the interest in Krishna consciousness. Because by you having the interest, this movement is going to go on in your understanding and your preaching. Because we're right now in the dawning of the Chaitanya era. This is a sunrise coming up, like in the morning, you see the first rays of sunlight. This is the dawning of the Chaitanya era. You see, he's gonna go for the next 10,000 years. And unfortunately, we don't have any more time because I had one beautiful thing I would like to, how many time I have?
We have 2 minutes.
Somebody asked me yesterday, did you ever have a crisis of faith? Because we're discussing this. So this is a fair question. Crisis of faith, you see? And I never had a crisis of faith. You know why? Because I couldn't find anything better than Krishna consciousness. And I'm being fair. No, it's your religion. It's not my religion. I was born Catholic, okay? So, it's not my religion. And I feel Krishna consciousness has much more answers than any other religious process, not to make them less, they just have the level. But this level of Krishna consciousness is, it's amazing ability to answer a lot of questions we may have, as much as we want. You see, as much as you want to go. It's a rocket, and that's fuel forever. And you can go as high as you want, up to Goloka Vrindavan. So I thank you all to being there. I would like to do this more if you want 2 times a week, no problem. And I want to hear the feedback. You have my WhatsApp in there. You say a few words. I like to be also inspired by you. We all have a part of this. Any last super pressing questions that you cannot sleep tonight? Please tell me.
We enjoy your presence, your association so much that we want like all the time to listen to you. But it's like not so practical because I hope you also are busy. So maybe we can do it like 2 times a week. So that would be very amazing.
Let's do that. And then we'll talk of farms and everything. Maybe I show some pictures. You should have a WhatsApp with all of you in there. I think you have already. Yes. I'll send some pictures of the land. I don't know.
Yeah, please.
Let's talk about.
Yes. It has been my dream. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, hey, you have 4 beagles in here. All yours. Come and do your thing. Okay?
Yes.
Mayapur Dham, the best place.
True. So less than 1 minute. So let's please accept my humble obeisance.
Please accept mine. Thank you.